Well, hello there. Today we're talking K-pop concerts in Korea and how they're different than the European ones. First of all, yes, I was aware, I did know that there's a different concert culture in Korea than it is in Europe. They have fun a little bit differently than we do, and they have many different things that we don't, so I was ready to experience something new and something different. Quick reminder, this is only my opinion, which has been shared with my Korean friends. She took no offense, so neither should you. First of all, twin, please never lose hope, because the sold-out tour is never truly sold out unless you get your seat, you get your ticket, manifesting that for you. When it comes to concerts in Korea, buying tickets on the Interpark International website, it's good to refresh the website once in a while in the middle of the night when they drop the resale tickets, so you can still buy them after they're sold out. You'll get them eventually. Amen. Okay, so talking clothes and outfits. As the date of the concert was approaching, I was stressing about my outfit, obviously, and leaving everything, every decision for the last minute, obviously. Also, because I was packing for Korea with no concert in mind, because I failed to get my tickets on the sale date, I only packed like really casual clothes, nothing too fancy, so I had to think and buy every single item. It was just too overwhelming, so I was really putting that aside and procrastinating a lot. Thankfully, I didn't have to think of an outfit idea all on my own. Someone took off the weight of my shoulders, the members themselves, zerobaseone members. You know how before touring the artists give you a hint sometimes on what's the dress code, like the colors and themes? Yeah, zerobaseone did not come to play when it comes to that, because they curated very specific outfits for each day of their Seoul concerts. And I was relieved, because that Instagram story screenshot just became my shopping list. And I wanted to get it right down to every detail, even those thingies in the hair, like the hair clips I bought with the duck, and that red something I bought a bunny. Honestly, I think I nailed it. I loved my outfit. I've never looked this good on a concert. I was a damsel in distress, a clothing distress, and I was saved by some man's stupid drawing. On the day of the concert, heading to the venue, I was really curious about the Koreans and how they would dress, because, you know, they're pretty known worldwide for their fashion, right? So I was pretty excited, maybe a little even worried that everyone would look the same. Like, can you imagine like the whole mass of people dressed according to one very specific dress code, with the beret, the tie and everything, with ducks in our hair? That looked like a NCT comeback stage in my mind, but the reality was totally different. Everyone's clothes were so casual. I was disappointed, you know? Like, oh, come on, a plain hoodie, really? Because of that, it was really easy to spot a foreign fan. We actually dressed up, especially the Chinese. Oh my god. The Koreans looked like they just got out of class and went straight to the concert. Okay. Because that was in the middle of the week, then I think that's the case, because they were dressed really like for school, with backpacks and everything. There's also no security check, which surprised me a little bit. You could just bring anything to the venue. But anyway, I still feel like if we had those specific guidelines how to dress on a tour in Europe, we would all look like clones. People on the street would be confused what's going on. And after the event, the only thing for us left to do would be voting online who wore it better. So regarding that aspect of K-pop concerts, I was disappointed. 1 point for us. We're the better dressed. Ooh, now that was cool. They had those little tents outside. It was all so organized and thought through. I loved it. I loved it, honestly. While you're in the line, the staff handed you a leaflet like this one, where you could just see what they have, what you can choose from, and take your sweet time to decide what you want to buy. If you want to spend that much on the jersey, Pretty cool, huh? When it was your turn at the cash register, you just handed the paper to the lady.
Our company, that company lady, right? Company lady.
Showing her what you want and what quantity you want. She just gave you the receipt. And with that receipt, you go to the other tent, hand it to the other staff, and they just gave you your stuff. Amazing experience, 10 out of 10, would recommend. Points for the Korean. Speaking of Korean stuff, they were all very helpful and polite, which is a nice change after only ever experiencing annoyed nagging and yelling from the staff, which happens a lot here. And I don't know why. Are they getting paid to be extra mean or something? I don't know what their problem is most of the time. The staff had us pick up the physical ticket, which is so cute, by the way, and nice souvenir. I just wish we had them here too. I miss them. Another point for the Koreans for that. We also had to get our light stick checked and synchronized, and I was so confused about all those things and what I should do next, and it was all in Korean. I don't speak Korean. I was pretty stressed, also like kind of embarrassed to ask other fans. I was worried. I don't know, I was just too afraid to approach any fans, but the staff people, I came up to them to ask for the entrance information, and I was not afraid to do so, and they were very kind and helpful, very understanding, giving clear instructions. Very good experience with them. After we entered the venue, they scanned our tickets. I was a little bit lost trying to figure out where I should go, which door would lead me to my section. It was a little bit crowded in there, so I was just standing there in the middle like a dumbass, staring at my ticket and the information on the walls, trying to figure out where I should go, like this, looking here, looking there, looking here, looking there. That's where the K-drama moment happened. As I was standing there with my ticket in the air, not thinking about what's going on around me, someone just snatched the ticket out of my hand. It all happened so fast, I didn't really have any time to react or get worried that someone just took my ticket away from me, because I already entered the venue. It's just a matter of where I'm gonna sit. So I just look next to me from where the snatching happened, and there was a security guy, a cute one, may I add, trying to figure out my sitting information for me, looking all like proud, on duty, taking very seriously his role of helping out the lost fangirls. After a few seconds, very proudly, he then showed me the direction I should go, smiled at me, and gave my ticket back. I snatched the thing and ran away, being like, "Tada, I'm coming! Ricky, when I get you, Ricky!" Just thinking about getting to the place that will lead me to Zero Base One. Not thinking about the cute security guard I was leaving behind, not at all. The situation does come back to me sometimes when I'm trying to sleep and think about my life. I also did realize that while being in Korea, I did experience some really K-drama stuff. I even fell asleep on some guy's shoulders on the bus. That's so cliche. Always when I saw it in a K-drama, I was like, okay, but that never happens, but it did. I was just so tired, I fell asleep on some guy's shoulder. He just let me do that. When I woke up, I was so embarrassed. I couldn't look at him. He was pretty comfy. Yeah, and the K-drama moment with my security guard. Yet again, I was a damsel and in distress, and I was saved by a Korean man. The concert was great, at least from what I've seen. From my restricted view seat, at least I saw them backstage. I could see when the crowd was getting too excited for the entrance, when they weren't even ready yet. I knew that that's not the time to scream. I saw them do their thing before the show started.
Day 2, 내슈르맘이다! Zero base one, yeah! Woo. Let's go. Day 2, let's go. Let's go.
But seriously, next to me there was nothing, just darkness and coldness. Before they entered the stands, I just saw them creepily waiting in the dark for the queue, staring at us from the distance. I didn't know what to do, honestly. I didn't know, should I pretend to not see them? looking in my direction, or should I maybe try to get an interaction by waving? I was just side-eyeing them. That was fun. Other than that, it was so cold. I thought I'm gonna die. Ever since Zero Base One dropped Good So Bad, I think that's the music that's playing when you enter heaven. The angels open the gates, and that's what's playing to welcome you there. That's exactly the sound that's gonna welcome me in heaven, at least if I get there. And while sitting on my lonely seat, freezing to death, with that exact song being performed on the stage, I couldn't help but smile, because apparently I wasn't wrong. That's what's playing when you die. I'm serious, it was so cold there, I had to pull this move. It wasn't helpful. Moving on, regarding the performance itself, what can I say and not get eaten alive? You know, when you go to a theater to see a play or a musical, usually the artists just go up on the stage, do everything as planned, as rehearsed before. No additional interactions with the audience. And you, as a member of said audience, you're supposed to sit back, relax, watch, appreciate, and then reward the artist with a round of applause. That's what Zero Base One concerts feel like to me. You know, even if they walk freely on the stage to greet the fans, do some fan service, it all feels so planned beforehand, rehearsed. Don't take me wrong, please. I love Zero Base One. I love Zero Base One. But me personally, I prefer the type of concert where the audience, the crowd, is also a part of the show, when we're all playing together, having fun, dancing, jumping around and singing together. I'm not saying that one is better or worse, I'm just saying that that's what I prefer, and I have more fun doing that. Also, how I was the only one that actually acknowledged the people sitting on the bleachers on the second floor while trying to interact with the crowd, like put your hands up type of stuff, and while saying goodbye. I think he was the only one that mentioned the people sitting way in the back, and I always appreciate artists that do so. It was him, Taeyang from SF9, Kevin from The Boys. 2 points for Zhang Hao. Yeah, he's the part of competition too. The other thing that I really liked, they were singing live, and they were amazing. I love Zero Base One. I love Zero Base One. I love Zero Base One. Please don't take them away from me. Last but definitely not least, because that was probably the biggest part of my experience and my opinion on it. At least most of them came there just for one specific member they find the most attractive. Not even for their talent, vocals, dancing skills, but because they're hot, not caring about the music at all. That was so sad to watch. And how do I know? Is it just my assumption? No. I saw them all sitting on their phones most of the time, unless their fave was shown on the big screen. People were the loudest and the most locked in during not even the performance itself when the members were with us on the stage, but when they were backstage and we were shown that video on the big screen between the performances. I have no idea what it's called. That's where the people paid most attention to. Yeah, I didn't like that attitude at all. Also, on the entrance we were all handed a slogan with instruction for the fan project to sing a song with lyrics and everything. I was like, oh, what a cute idea. Everyone singing for the members. Usually people tear up during those moments and stuff, so I was like, ooh, on board. I was a little bit stressed that I wouldn't be able to sing that well because I don't know Korean and I can't sing. Me participating was just me butchering the language and hurting ears of people sitting in my sector. But Koreans didn't even bother, bro. Like, not at all. They were handed the lyrics. If they didn't know the song, they knew the lyrics. They know how to read Korean this fast. I don't, but they do. I was looking forward to hearing the fan chants, because that's very Korean concert thing to do. In Europe, we don't really do the fan chants. We just scream and sing the lyrics we know, or we just try to seem that we know. The only song that I've heard them do this was Good So Bad. Other than that, people did not give a freak. Also, the thing that made me a little uncomfortable was The fact that no one, at least in my sector, was dancing, singing, showing any interest or that they're having fun. So it was very uncomfortable for me to fully enjoy. Everyone was sitting, so it's a little restricted what you can do, you cannot do. You couldn't jump or stand, right? But we could have some fun and sing. Anyway, disappointed. Yet again, I was aware that it's different. They have fun a little bit differently than we do.
However, nevertheless,
I haven't seen anyone having fun in any way. I just hope it's not always like that. I'd like to think about this as an exception, not that Zero Base One fans, Korean fans are like this, but only on this one day, the second day of their Seoul tour. I like to give them that benefit of the doubt. Also, I've seen the Treasure concert videos. I know they know how to have fun. In conclusion, the points are points, but the final thoughts may be different. Did I enjoy the concert? Duh! Yes, I did. Do I regret spending my money going there? No, not at all. Would I recommend it to other European fans? You know what? Hell yeah! Despite everything I've talked about, yes, it was worth it. It was different, and we're meant to experience different things. It just gives more points to why it's worth it. It was the calmest, most chill concert I've ever attended, and I think I will ever attend. I walked out of there with no concert drama, no drama, just one of my favorite memories from last year. I just wish that we all get to see our favorite artists performing live, no matter where, in what conditions. Manifesting for you, manifesting for me. The ending fairy. I have no idea what to do. It's me. Duh. I should do something Zero Base One related. No.